In this part of the video, I will explain all the edit topics by the CBSE board in your textbook in Political Science Class 12, Politics in India Since Independence. All the edit topics. And this part of the video is also going to be very important. Don't miss anything. Chapter 1, Challenges of Nation Building. And the subtopic is Patel and National Integration. Patel and National Integration. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, India's first Deputy Prime Minister and Home Minister, played a crucial role in the freedom movement, particularly gaining prominence after the Kheda Satyagraha 1918 and the Bardoli Satyagraha 1928. During the challenging period of independence, Patel took on the formidable task of integrating the 565 princely states into independent India. Known as the Iron Man of India, he was resolute in preserving India's territorial integrity. Patel's approach involved diplomatic finesse, political experience, and foresight. Despite challenges, many princely states had already agreed to merge with India before independence. Patel faced significant integration challenges from the states like Hyderabad, Junagadh, and Kashmir. Under his leadership, Indian forces compelled Hyderabad and Junagadh to merge with India. While Patel aimed for military integration of Kashmir similar to Hyderabad, various reasons prevented full integration. Nevertheless, Patel is remembered as an outstanding leader embodying the qualities of a true nationalist, catalyst, and realist, as encapsulated in Indian political history as NCR. Now, let's move to the new chapter. Chapter 3, Politics of Planned Development. Politics of Planned Development. And the subtopic is Niti Aayog. Niti Aayog. After independence, India initially established a planning commission based on a socialist model for planned development. However, as the challenges of development evolved in the era of globalization, the planning commission became ineffective. Consequently, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in his Independence Day speech in 2014, announced its abolition. In its place, Niti Aayog was formed on 1st January 2015 with the goal of offering technical advice to the union government for policy making at both central and state levels. The Prime Minister of India serves as the ex officio chairman of Niti Aayog and appoints the vice chairperson. The first vice chairperson was Arvind Panagariya, and the current vice chairperson is Suman Berry. Niti Aayog functions as a think tank aligning national security and economic policy interests and formulating a strategic long-term policy framework. Embracing a bottom-up approach, it promotes cooperative federalism by ensuring equal participation of all states in the shaping country's policies and programs. Now the subtopic, National Development Council. National Development Council, NDC. NDC. The National Development Council, NDC, also known as Rashtriya Vikas Parishad, serves as the apex body for decision-making and deliberations on development matters in India. Established on August 6, 1952, under the chairmanship of India's first Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, it aims to strengthen and mobilize the nation's efforts and resources in line with the 5-year plans formulated by the Planning Commission. The Council includes the Prime Minister, union cabinet ministers, chief ministers of all states or their representatives, union territories representatives, and members of Niti Aayog, formerly Planning Commission. The objectives of the Council include securing state cooperation in plan execution, mobilizing national efforts and resources, promoting common economic policies, and ensuring balanced and rapid development across the country. The functions of the Council encompass prescribing guidelines for the national plans formulation, assessing resources, reviewing the national plan formulated by the Niti Aayog, evaluating required resources, addressing social and economic policy questions, and periodically reviewing the plan's progress. Additionally, the Council recommends measures to achieve the aims and targets set in the national plan. Now, Chapter 4, India's External Relations. The subtopic is India-Israel Relations. India-Israel Relations. India's foreign policy with Israel saw a significant shift nearly 45 years after independence, despite historical and cultural ties dating back centuries. This change occurred after both nations gained independence from British colonial rule in 1947 and 1948, respectively. Formal diplomatic relations between India and Israel began with the opening of the Israeli embassy in India in 1992. The relationship between the two democratic nations gained momentum with intensified interactions, particularly through the visits of the heads of government in 2017 and 2018. Cooperation between India and Israel now spans various fields, including cultural exchange, security and defense, counter-terrorism, space research, water and energy, as well as agricultural development. This evolving collaboration reflects the growing engagement and partnership between the two countries on multiple fronts. Now, the subtopic is India's nuclear program, and this is an updated version. India's nuclear policy has traditionally been peace-oriented, as evident in its No First Use (NFU) policy, signaling a commitment to use nuclear weapons only in response to an incoming nuclear attack. However, in response to contemporary regional security challenges, the present government has indicated a willingness to review and potentially change the NFU policy to align with India's evolving regional and national security needs. Furthermore, India is actively pursuing membership in the Nuclear Suppliers Group (NSG), aiming to participate in global nuclear commerce while adhering to its commitment to non-proliferation. India has been critical of certain nuclear treaties, such as Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty (CTBT) and the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons (NPT), considering them partisan and unjust, and has consistently opposed them. Now, the new chapter, Chapter 6, The Crisis of Democratic Order. And the subtopic is Jayaprakash Narayan and the Total Revolution. Jayaprakash Narayan and the Total Revolution. Jayaprakash Narayan is recognized for three significant contributions to post-independence India. Firstly, he led a campaign against corruption, mobilizing the youth, particularly in Gujarat and Bihar. making him the first leader to take such a stance in the country. Secondly, he advocated the principle of communitarian socialism, envisioning India as a society comprising communities at three key layers: community, region, and Rashtra, forming a true federation. Lastly, Jayaprakash Narayan championed total revolution, calling for transformations across moral, cultural, economic, political, educational, and ecological aspects of society. His total revolution aimed at individual, societal, and state level changes, incorporating principles like the right to recall and the importance of local samitis in democratic politics. Jayaprakash Narayan urged all sections of society, including the Upar ke Log, to participate in the political struggle for clearer politics. His transformative vision centered around the belief that man could be the catalyst for real change in India. Now, the subtopic is Ram Manohar Lohia and socialism. Ram Manohar Lohia and socialism. Ram Manohar Lohia was a prominent advocate of socialism in India, particularly emphasizing the concept of democratic socialism and aligning socialism with democracy. He deemed both capitalism and communism irrelevant for Indian society. Lohia's democratic socialism had two key objectives: economic, focusing on food and housing, and non-economic, emphasizing democracy and freedom. Lohia proposed the idea of Chauburja Rajniti, asserting that four pillars, center, region, district, and village, are interconnected. He argued for affirmative action, advocating policies not only for the downtrodden but also for women and non-religious minorities. Based on democratic socialism and Chauburja Rajniti, Lohia supported the idea of a party of socialism as an attempt to unite all political parties. According to Lohia, this party should have three symbols: spade, prepared to make efforts; vote, power of voting; and prison, willingness to make sacrifices. And now the subtopic is Deen Dayal Upadhyay and integral humanism. Deen Dayal Upadhyay and integral humanism. Let's move further. Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay, a philosopher, sociologist, economist, and politician, introduced the philosophy of integral humanism. This philosophy aimed to present an indigenous social economic model where human welfare remains at the center of development. Integral humanism seeks to ensure a dignified life for every individual while balancing the needs of both the individual and society. It advocates for sustainable consumption of natural resources and promotes political, economic, and social democracy and freedom, making it well suited for India's diverse context. Integral humanism is grounded in three key principles. Please watch this very carefully. Number one, a primacy of the whole, not part. Number two, supremacy of dharma, righteous duty. And number three, autonomy of society. Deen Dayal Upadhyay opposed both Western capitalist individualism and Marxist socialism, asserting that both ideologies focus only on the materialistic aspects of human needs, neglecting spiritual development. His philosophy envisions a classless, casteless, and conflict-free social system based on the principle of Arthayam, emphasizing the interconnectedness of dharma and artha, that is, material well-being. Deen Dayal Upadhyay advocated for the Indianization of democracy, particularly emphasizing economic democracy. He envisioned decentralization and Swadeshi as the foundation of economic democracy. His philosophy emphasizes spiritual development and envisions a democratic system that accommodates the participation of all sections of society. In the broader context of India's democratic politics, three democratic upsurges have been identified. Please stay tuned. The first democratic upsurge from the 1950s and the 1970s, characterized by the increasing participation of Indian adult voters in parliamentary democracy. The second democratic upsurge during the 1980s, marked by the increased political participation of lower classes, including scheduled castes, SCs, scheduled tribes, STs, and the other backward classes, OBCs. The third democratic upsurge, since the early 1990s, associated with liberalization, privatization, and globalization, this upsurge represents a competitive electoral market, emphasizing shifts from state to market, government to governance, and state as controller of state as facilitator. It also focuses on promoting youth participation in democratic politics, recognizing their role as game changers with preferences for development and governance. Now, Chapter 7, Regional Aspirations, and the subtopic is the Kashmir issue, The integration of Kashmir with the Union of India has been a complex and contentious issue since independence. The situation became more intricate with the granting of special status through Article 370 and Article 35A. Article 370 conferred unique powers to Kashmir, allowing it to have a separate constitution, constituent assembly, flag, and distinctive titles for political positions. Article 35A provided special citizenship rights, preventing non-Kashmiris from buying property in the state. The special status led to calls for the abrogation of Articles 370 and 35A, with some viewing them as endorsing separatism. In response, the NDA government presented the Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Bill in the Rajya Sabha on August 5, 2019, seeking to abolish sections 370 and 35A. The bill was passed by a majority and later approved by the Lok Sabha on August 6, 2019. After receiving the President's assent on August 9, 2019, Sections 370 and 35A were revoked and Jammu and Kashmir was reorganized into two union territories. Ladakh and Jammu and Kashmir marked a significant development in Indian politics. Now the subtopic NDA 3 and 4. The Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, under Prime Minister Narendra Modi secured an absolute majority in the Lok Sabha elections held in May 2014, marking a significant shift in Indian politics. This victory established a strong government at the centre, breaking a nearly 30-year-old trend of coalition governments. The coalition referred to as NDA 3 differed notably from its predecessors, Unlike earlier coalitions led by national parties, NDA 3 was not only led by the BJP but was also dominated by the BJP itself. Securing an absolute majority in the Lok Sabha, it was termed as surplus majority coalition, showcasing a transformation in the nature of coalition politics from being led by one party to being dominated by one party. In the 2019 Lok Sabha elections, often referred to as NDA 4, the BJP-led coalition once again emerged victorious, winning more than 350 seats out of 543. The BJP alone secured 303 seats, marking the largest number for any single party in the lower house since 1984, when the Congress swept the elections after the assassination of Mrs. Indira Gandhi. The success of the BJP in 2019 has led social scientists to equate the contemporary party system with the BJP system, suggesting the emergence of an era of one-party dominance akin to the Congress system in the past. Now the subtopic is issues of development and governance. In addition to existing schemes, various socio-economic welfare initiatives have been introduced to ensure accessibility of development and governance to the masses. Some notable schemes include Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, a scheme aimed at providing for free LPG collections to below poverty line households, promoting clean cooking fuel and reducing health hazards. Then Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, a nationwide cleanliness campaign with the goal of achieving a clean and open defecation-free India. Then Jan Dhan Yojana, a financial inclusion program to ensure that every household has access to basic banking services, including savings and insurance. Then Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gram Jyoti Yojana, an initiative to provide round-the-clock electricity supply to rural areas, improving the quality of life and promoting economic development. Then Kisan Fasal Bima Yojana, a crop insurance scheme to protect farmers from financial losses due to unforeseen events such as natural disasters. Then Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, a campaign advocating for the welfare of the girl child, promoting education and addressing issues like female feticide. Then Ayushman Bharat Yojana, also known as Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. It aims to provide financial protection for health-related expenses to vulnerable families, covering hospitalization costs. These schemes collectively work towards bringing administration to the doorstep of the common man, particularly benefiting rural households and women, and contributing to holistic development. Was this video useful? If yes, please like and share it with your companions. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.